Back. What movie was that out of? They're back. Was that Poltergeist? Somebody I used to hang around with and listen to a lot of music too when we drive around. I'm not sure about how old I was, but I do remember a season when it was the Razor's Edge with AC/DC, Metallica's Black Album with Enter Sandman. Nothing Else Matters really ripped into my heart. I wanted to learn how to play that. AC/DC I always stumbled with. That was another group I listened to, and no matter what I tried, I really couldn't do a whole lot. Who Made Who I played a little bit. Very little. I was always blown away. Why can I learn some people's music but not all people's music? You know? And I never really got that. Even to this day sometimes I wonder why not? You know? I'm getting a little bit better at it. But I'll be honest with you, even today, even though I have a strong appreciation for it, it's not really my desire to learn other people's music. I really want to create my own music. You ever feel that way? You don't want to kind of mimic what other people are doing. You want to create something yourself. Understand, all these people that I was inspired with throughout my whole life, all of them, much like in my other videos I talked about that bunny rabbit, becomes part of me. So all the recording artists that I'm telling you about, they live inside of me. Their music, their techniques, their style, their class. They probably don't want me to announce that to the whole world, but I'm telling you. It lives and breathes inside of me. It lives and breathes inside of you. You know? Watching all these television shows and stuff, it's kind of like you're gathering up data. Like on a computer, you're gathering up data. And I realized more recently that even if it's intentional or not intentional, there's something in us that ends up accidentally, on purpose, whatever, imitating what we see and hear, whatever our five senses are exposed to. I try very hard not to do that anymore. I really do try to seek within myself. You know, maybe a little bit of play. You know, look, she's trying to pretend to be who can we say? She's trying to be Gene Simmons with her tongue. Okay, it's just as a joke, it's one thing, clowning around a little bit. But to be honest with you, I really want to find my who I am. But the more that I realize as I'm talking to you, all of those people inspired me to be who I am. Because of that, I drove harder. All their style is within me. I'm a little bit of everything I was exposed to throughout my life. Everything. Family, friends, television, radio. And you are too. That's why we got to be very cautious on what it is that we're watching and listening to. We got to be very, very careful about that. Especially if we're falling in agreement with this stuff. Singing certain words. I find out in later years, I started realizing this praise and worship music that I love a lot. It's not making me feel too good about myself. But then again, some of the other rock and roll songs that I'm listening to are country songs. Got to be very careful and selective over what it is that you're allowing yourself to listen to, because you start to become in agreement with it. So if it's something that's going to make you feel awful and bring you down, whatever it is that you're listening to, it's going to have that effect, that power. And let me tell you, that's going to keep running through your head still to this day as I'm talking to you about these songs. They go through my head as clearly as they did the first time I ever heard them. Okay? Same with my music too. Same with my music can have that effect on you or whoever's willing to listen to it. You know? I never realized that until now. Later years. I started hanging out with my cousin. He loved to sing. He loved to sing. But he didn't play guitar. So guess what? This was a great match. I'll take him wherever he wants to go. We can go get some beer, sit outside on the hood of the car or indoors, and he would have the opportunity to serenade whoever he wanted to. I only knew a few songs by that time. And we'd do the same songs over and over again. Every Rose Has Its Thorn was one of them. The girls went crazy over this. And he had a great voice. And that's when I started doing harmony. That song, and that song. I mean, I learned it throughout younger years, through the other family members and stuff I was exposed to. But that's when I finally started doing it with other people my age. You know? But I was always scared. I was always scared, and I never sounded like Poison, you know? I just kind of did my own thing. And but the girls and the people we played for were usually very appreciative. They loved his voice. He really did have, or he does have, a great voice. But I got to play guitar. I got to do what I wanted to do, play guitar. That's it. It's that easy. Let me go back in my mind here. Let me think. There were things that I wanted to talk about into my 20s. Because the rest of it is going to be pretty much repeat. And I want to move along, get closer and closer to my career. Throughout this time, know this. Whenever something would consume me or overwhelm me, I would sit down to write a song. Okay? And there'd be times that I would reflect back on different songs that I heard throughout my life. And that's when I started realizing structure, a structure of a song. Is it verse, chorus, second verse, chorus? Is there a bridge in there? You know, that different thing. And because I listened to so much music, I was no fool. If that structure worked and it made a popular song for people to like, if I follow it within that structure and keep it within a certain time frame, you know, I mean, you can really dissect all of this. Figure out how long from the beginning of the song to get to the first verse, and how long from the first verse before you gotta nail that chorus right away. Okay? There's like a formula to all this. So something in my mind was telling me if I kind of work in a pattern similar to other songs that I loved, I'm gonna start having better songs to share with other people, and they might like them. Maybe they're gonna like my songs. I don't know. What do you think? So I tried very hard not to copy off of anybody, but know that through these years, I continued to write a song. I dabble with it here and there. By the time I got into a relationship with the lady I got rigs with, she was huge into country music. If anybody was a country girl in their heart that I ever met in my whole life besides my mother, was her. 90s music, new country they were calling it. Now I don't remember what year, of course, what years it was I was hanging, so this might be stuff that was already played for a while. Because I'll tell you, just before meeting her, I met this girl who I miss greatly. I was living at the trailer. I was down on my luck. And can I tell you, I want to get off on the new country here for a second. My early 20s, I was living in that trailer with my mother. I was working jobs as less as I had to. I held a job, but I always wanted a job that I had more home time. And can I be honest with you? All I did was eat, drink, watch television. That's it. Nothing else. And I looked at everybody else on television. My life's over. My life's completely over. What's the use of even trying anything anymore? Started feeling really bad about myself. I worked out at the gym and stuff. I wasn't happy. I didn't like my size. By that time, I'm pretty big. Muscular and belly-wise. Look at my little belly. See? Hold on. There it is. Okay, looked totally different before. I had a haircut like Billy Ray Cyrus. Because my girlfriend that I met, she loved Billy Ray Cyrus, and she had a Billy Ray Cyrus hairstyle too. So guess what? I want my hair to look like that. The glam bands have passed on. Pretty much so. Not really, you know. But that's the way it kind of felt on the radio waves, on MTV or whatever we were watching. And Nirvana kicked in. Nirvana? Who is this Nirvana in a flannel shirt? You know? And I tell you that it took me a long time to like Nirvana. But eventually you'll find out that I met her, or I got introduced to the band through a girl that was much different than any girl I ever hung around with. Very much the kind of what you would see fans in videos and stuff like that who went to Nirvana performances. She opened up the doorway and I started slowly. It was a graceful thing, and can I tell you, by the time New York Unplugged came on, ripped my heart out. What can I say? The same living room that I heard Garth Brooks live. My mom had a video that she watched of Garth Brooks live over and over and over. And that's when I realized I love cowboys and Wrangler jeans. I love cowboys and Wrangler jeans, tight. Tight around the bottom. I don't know why. Garth Brooks turned me on during this time as well. So now I'm starting to think of the possibilities of starting to like country music because I see Garth Brooks in a whole different image than the country songs that I was raised with, which were kind of slow, sad. I loved Alabama. My mom loved Alabama. Oak Ridge Boys. Oh, I can go on and 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 on about that. This time in this house, I'm watching that video with my mom all the time. She loved it. She loved it. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, put my foot in my mouth. Was there not a musician of some sort that was a female in there? And that really drove me to, I'm trying to connect everything still, trying to figure things out. Why am I liking Garth Brooks' tush running across the screen? And there's a girl and I want to be her. Is she playing bass? I don't really remember. I want to be the girl in the band. With a guy with a sexy tush running back and forth, Crazy stuff would go through my head. Crazy, but I was being honest with myself. Quietly, very quietly. Very quietly. I didn't want my mother to know. Nobody else knows, and I'm out of shape. I look horrible. So, very powerful moment. Now Nirvana. And can I tell you something? I recorded that VCR and I watched it over and over and over again. So much that my brother got me a Nirvana VHS, and there was something wrong with it in the intro, kind of buzzed or whatever. And you know what? I didn't want him to take it back. I appreciated that gift so much. That's how much I love Nirvana. And I started buying, just like with John Cougar and other groups like Bon Jovi and stuff, that I would go, even attempt to steal, which I don't do no more. Okay? I wanted to get all of their music, not just some of it. I am so interested in this music that I dug back. And I was looking for anything that might have been recorded ever since the day he was born. I wanted to know it. I wanted to see it. I wanted to hear it. But one thing's for sure, Kurt Cobain ripped my heart out. For some reason, though very different, I felt like I could connect. There was a connection there. And that's when I used to go across the street, start getting the guitar out again, because of these guys. And playing my guitar all the time. I was left alone, and that's when my Billy Ray Cyrus girl would show up. I'd make fun of her. And can I tell you, my mom loved Garth Brooks. I liked him for the total different reasons. I love that energy. I love the fast music. My favorite one, Papa drove a truck nearly all his life. It drove Mama crazy being a trucker's wife. And I love the harmony in that. So much that when I was driving truck, somehow I got a hold of a cassette and I would be listening to Garth Brooks all the time when I was on the road. Just the fast songs, though. I didn't want to hear the slow songs. No slow songs. No slow songs. Ripping my heart out. I don't want that anymore. But Nirvana. Oh, no. Now let me tell you something. I'll be honest with you. This is the power that it had over me. I drank. It increased my drinking more. It increased my, can I be honest, my depression more. I'm listening to this stuff over and over and over. And I'm not telling you that not to listen. Listen, I love Nirvana. I love Nirvana. Trust me, I love Nirvana. I even started getting sexually attracted to him as well, in the band. I just thought they were crazy and just amazing, amazing. I didn't understand the whole destroying everything and stuff. I'm trying to figure all this stuff out, as I'm seeking my inner soul, myself. So I go to the garage, she'd show up. We came out to these mountains, the place I first started talking about. Let me tell you something. There's many times that we listened to the Some Gave All album entirely. She did not drink. I drank. She would drive me around this mountain and park there all the time. She had a strong attraction to me. And if she gets to watch this, now she knows. I just did not want to be with a girl. And I was really struggling with that. And there were times where things would happen. Usually, like I said, the tough girls would kind of get themselves on top of me or what have you. Some things happened there, and I didn't want to lose her friendship. I even apologized. I just, well, not right now, not right now. Okay, not right now. My mind's on Garth Brooks' tush, by the way, not on our relationship together. I don't know why, just because he looked good in his jeans. Okay, cowboy, big cowboy. Security. You think you feel safe in Garth Brooks' arms? I used to think stuff like that. Cuddle up with me on the couch, I'll feel safe. I promise to lose weight. Eventually, in later years. Billy Ray Cyrus. So guess what? Because she was an enormous Billy Ray Cyrus and she told me about how she saw his concerts live. I'm a live concert person. I need to get off that couch, stop feeling sorry for myself, and go to a concert. Well, we went out to Pat Garrett's Amphitheater in Pennsylvania off of 78. And let me tell you something. I was like, wow, Billy Ray Cyrus. One of the best looking men I've ever seen. Right here in front of me. I'm very critical over performances. Anybody who knows me is. As I watched it, I loved the music. It was one of those things too, like Cinderella Night Songs. The whole band, Slide Dog, amazing musicianship. Let me tell you something, Trail of Tears, one of my favorite albums to this day. I can listen to that over and over, and it makes me connected to this whole land. Very spiritual. I don't know what it is about that album, and that to me, I was like, I don't know what it is about Billy Ray Cyrus. To me, it wasn't captured in some gay vault. It was captured in the Trail of Tears. This man has to be very spiritual. I'm trying to figure this out because I would come up to these mountains and drive around, sit and drink by myself, smoking a lot of cigarettes. I'm like, wow, this has got to be one of the most spiritual singer-songwriters, whatever, ever in my life that I ever heard. So just like wanting to go to Indiana to meet John Cougar, just like wanting to go over to New Jersey and tackle Bon Jovi, the whole band. Hoping Tico Torres doesn't use all that muscle to hurt me. You know, wanting to meet Bret Michaels, who's out of Pennsylvania. All these different guys. Okay, I want to meet these people. Now I want to meet Billy Ray Cyrus. Well, what can you do when you've got to be realistic? You're not going to meet them. How are you going to meet them? You go to the show. So we went to the show. And I got to be honest, I didn't get to see too many country performances at that time. I don't know if I saw Travis Tritt then or later. But I remember that it was a much different atmosphere. A lot of older people that were there at this performance, sitting down, and I'm thinking to myself, how can you sit? I mean, this band sounds wonderful, amazing. And they had, on the side of the stage, they had places to sit that you could actually watch them on the stage. I was like, I want to go up there. I want to go up there. The only problem is you don't want me up there. You don't want me up there because if I'm up there, I'm going to jump off onto Billy Ray Cyrus and rip his shirt off and embarrass him in front of the whole group of people that are there. That's how much I loved Billy. So much that during the bar time when I would go out dancing, there was a live version of Achy Breaky and the whole concert there at some gay ball. And can I tell you that my girl, who was a friend, would show up, she would peek in the window laughing at me because I'm learning how to dance and mimic all of his moves on that video. Every move. And you want to know something? Though she wasn't old enough to go, I would tell her, I'm sorry, I'm going out tonight. And I didn't just do this for the season I lived there. I did that into the other apartment that I showed earlier on this video. For a year, 2 years, 3 years, I don't know how many years, but I was determined I am going to dance like Billy Ray Cyrus. And then there was this mystery as to whether or not he was a Chippendale. I mean, this has me going crazy, you know, because I always wanted to be an exotic dancer, okay? Note that in my other videos. Oh, so all this mystique. And then eventually I got to hear Trails of Tears, and I got to be honest, it was like I had a whole nother vision of Billy Ray Cyrus. And I want to be out here in the mountains every time I hear his music, you know? Trail of Tears. Oh, can I tell you something? One of the best albums ever written, ever produced, ever created, in my opinion. As a spiritual person, most certainly. I can't tell you how many times I listened to that. Some songs would tear me down, just like in a spirit sense. It would make me real. It would make me become to this place and realize that nothing else in the whole world mattered, like Metallica would say. Nothing else matters. I don't have time to reflect on individual songs, but I know there's one, if I'm not mistaken, on this album, maybe not. It talks about a cabin on a hillside with a window where I used to dream. Let me tell you something. That's if I would actually sing it, I'd cry. Because every time I heard that song, I cried. Because this is where I came to dream. This is where I could be like I am now. You don't know it, but whenever there's people, I'll find a new place. And I dream, and I'll tell you what, I am so happy just sharing my story with this camera. Talking about some of the things that I've been through. But I'm going to tell you, this might hurt. This might hurt, but I don't want it to hurt. It was too laid back of a concert for me at that time, okay? Doesn't mean I didn't appreciate the musicianship. Doesn't mean I didn't appreciate Billy Ray Cyrus. Trust me, I did. So much that I kept bugging her, how can we get back there and talk to him? I want to get back there on the bus. Close the doors, please. It's only going to take a couple minutes. I was big and strong back then. And I looked like a Billy Ray Cyrus wannabe. Got my Billy Ray Cyrus slide dog. Had a dog on the back, blue. Blue, of course. Blue, you'll find out, is a color that has been very attractive to me, evidently, throughout my life. My Billy Ray Cyrus slide dog shirt. And I wore it proudly and got knocked on everywhere I went. I don't care. I don't care. I saw him. I saw him. And I love his music, so And I would go down to the local bar, Frog's Hollow, for many people who live around here. And anybody who knows, put on Achy Breaky Heart. And I wasn't trying to do the tailored line dancing and stuff like that. That they had videos and to the song and stuff. I was doing what I saw live on there. And let me tell you something. People started complimenting me. Where are you learning how to dance? Billy Ray Cyrus. The one you're making fun of right here. Let me tell you something. He's teaching me how to dance. And he's also teaching me to sing and play my guitar, because you'll find out that Achy Breaky Heart, despite what everybody else was going through, I remember I was working at an oil changing place in the pits. In the pits, the grease monkey. And I remember that our assistant manager loved Achy Breaky Heart. He loved it, and he would crank it up. He never did that before because of respect for the customers and stuff, and we were told not to do that, but let me tell you something, he would crank that song up, and I remember, I don't really care for it, but I do. You know, it's a funny song, and, you know, so stuff like that. Like, I always wanted to hear these new music. I didn't really care for a whole lot of music back then, of country. Okay, I did, but I didn't. To me, it was slow, sad songs that just make people cry. That's the way it was for me. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you from my perspective. So when I saw the concert, it was much different than the other concerts I saw. But I remember when he did Achy Breaky Heart, that made everybody stand up. And I was like, it's about time, people. You know? What's wrong with you guys? We should have been up here line dancing and, what do they call that, square dancing? I don't know what we were supposed to do. We should have done something. Poor guy comes all the way down here. He's singing on the stage with his band, you know, pouring out his heart. And what are we doing? Nothing. We're sitting there in our chairs, telling the kids to settle down. Love Billy Ray Cyrus. Love him. But you know what? Listening to Billy Ray Cyrus, other than the Trail of Tears album, well, even with that, notice how I told you that when music starts bringing me down, I gotta remove it from my life. I have to. It's not his fault, right? I fell in love. It's the reason why I fell in love with him and his band. And I can't think of the guitar player's name. All I remember is Billy Ray Cyrus and Sly Dog, and say his name. And I'll tell you what, I don't know the guitarist, but I'll tell you what, I admired his work so greatly. And that was rare to me, to like so strongly a guitar from country music player, okay? Very rare, very rare, very rare. Can I tell you, very rare, very rare did I ever appreciate, because back in the time when I was growing up, there was a lot of twanging stuff. And I don't know why, I don't know why. Now I do. Now I appreciate it. Now I love it. Now I love everything, and you'll find that out. So give me a chance to share. But I remember that whoever that guitar player is, I blown away, especially when I found out that they started recording their own stuff and producing their own stuff. I was just like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do that. I want to do that, and I want to make friends with people like that to help me record an album. Not necessarily them, but my own clan of people. I want to get together a group of people, and I want to record music like that for the rest of my life. I knew it when I heard that album. Had to do it. Okay? So as I'm going through and I'm listening to this stuff, still Nirvana's creeping in. And can I tell you stuff? It ripped my heart out. Ripped my heart out so much. I don't want to get too heavy into it. But I listen to that stuff all the time. It's all I listen to. I started learning a lot of Nirvana music. That's all I did. And you want to know something? I got to be honest with you. This may hurt some people. I don't want it to hurt. Okay, understand when I say this. I don't want it to hurt anybody. But because he was using bar chords, a lot of distortion, and basically making a lot of noise, putting his heart and soul into this, it was something that I could do by that point. Through my dabbling around, I was like, okay, I can't do a lot of this other stuff that like Dave Mustaine and Metallica, but I can do Nirvana. I really can do it. It's so realistic for me. I can do this. Bar chords, a lot of distortion, and I started going over to the garage and doing that. Practicing every day. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I tell you, there's a lot of things that, no matter how hard I worked on it, there were some things that I couldn't do, but a majority of it I could. And I can tell you, buying all the albums, that's why I kept buying. I can do this stuff, you know? And I can get together a 3-piece band, which would be easier than having a 5 or a 6-piece band. You know, we can do it. They can do it, we can do it, I can do it. You know, I was so excited about that. But can I tell you, to be honest with you, for me, I'm not saying you, please understand this. It was tearing me down. The lyrics were so deep, and I could connect with almost every single word that they were saying. I can't listen to this. And I'm thinking suicide. And it's not because of them. Okay, it's not because of them. It's because of me. Reflecting back on my life, I was suicidal a majority of my life, okay? But depending on the music I was listening to at the time, and now I'm connecting with somebody else who is suicidal, you know? Pain. I don't know if he was suicidal, but pain. I think he was suicidal, but pain, okay? Please understand. I'm telling you, I love Kurt Cobain. I wanted to see Kurt Cobain so bad. I really did. But it didn't happen until, unfortunately, after his passing. Same with Elvis. You know, I love Elvis a lot. At that time, Kiss Alive 3, from what I understand, was popular. This is when I Was Made for Loving You came back into my life. If I'm not mistaken, you can slam me if I'm wrong with this, but I'm almost sure if it wasn't on that album, it was on another album right around that time. Kiss Alive 3 at Frogs Hollow in Pennsylvania. Always listening to it. Everybody wanted to hear Kiss Alive 3. Well, this was a time that I started getting together with bands. Now, how did I network with bands? I really don't know, because the internet was not in at that time for me. So I ended up with, somehow at that bar, meeting a drummer. And this drummer was already playing a band in a place called Tower City, which is over the mountainside. They have a few guys that are young, they're teenagers in their early 20s, and I'm like, you know what? I have off, basically, a majority of time over the winter because I just pretty much plowed snow and stuff at that time. And I'm just sitting around. I'm getting out of shape. I want to play. I really want to play. Can we at least try? And, you know, that's when they loved Kiss. They loved a lot of the harder stuff that I never played before. And this was a big challenge for me. But can I tell you something? It got me off the couch and in front of my mom's cassette player. And I kept studying this music. They would make me copies. I would study. My drummer at that time, not my drummer, but the drummer that was drumming with me at that time, phenomenal drummer. Amazing. And he had a big drum set that went the whole way around him. I was just like, this is great. We're getting a rock and roll band together. Unfortunately, we're a little outdated because I'm still loving 80s rock and roll. But Nirvana, maybe we can do some Nirvana songs, you know? So at this time, I'm still wanting to be a lead guitar player in a band. Now my drummer, there'd be a lot of times when I would be playing and he'd be like, not working. Can you imagine how that made me feel? I'm trying. Oh, I just want to have fun and play. Let me pretend for a little while. this isn't working. This isn't working. So, long and behold, we kept going up there, learning cover songs. Sometimes people show up. It was an amazing place, big facility. I don't know how they got it. It was like a recreational center. And, oh my goodness, we didn't have much equipment, but let me tell you something. It just echoed. And it was like we were playing in an auditorium. It was fantastic. And I look forward to going to that. Unfortunately, again, that's all Tracilyn wants to do. So guess what that does to other people? Like this. Here, we start here. I want to play, I want to play, I want to play, I want to... Where are you guys going? Where are you guys going? That's exactly what happens. People start to disappear from your life when you want something so bad. Bye-bye. I messed up again. Why do I keep messing up? Because I didn't tell you. It's been a long time into my 20s. Now we're backing up. My junior high school years, band called Black and White. We're playing in that drummers. It always seemed that the drummers had the connections. Is that true for all bands? The drummers got the connections. The drummers, the guy who keeps rhythm, they're the ones with the connections. So at that time, we're going back here quick. Take a road back. At that time, in junior high school, we're connecting. I meet a guitar player, became a very good friend of mine. We started to co-write a song. He wants it as bad as me too. Neither of us are really that talented at that time. Okay, at that time. He became a phenomenal guitar player. At that time, we're meeting at his grandmother's place. He got the place practice in the basement. We're down there pretty much a lot of times goofing off. So a lot of times, not everybody was showing up. I don't want to blame anybody for that. There's a lot of time, but I was there. Can I be honest with you? I was. A lot of people might say, well, no, you were time. Listen to me. Listen to me. I was there. I was there early. That's all I want to do is play. I knew that. My whole life I knew that. This is all I want to do. And when people wouldn't show up, or they'd have all kinds of excuses, I'm not figuring out yet. This is a human nature kind of thing going on here. I didn't know. Why don't you guys show up? All I want to do, we want to play. We want to take this serious. You want to play? You want to play high school? You want to do this stuff? Let's do it. Football player, other things going on. People live all over the city. Other things come up. Other things really do come up. I fully understand, but understand, in my life, there's nothing more important. Nothing. Even to this day. And I get beat up for that. At least I'm being honest. I love people. But when music's not in my life, it's like a fish down here in the water. You want me to see? Let me show you. When I'm not playing music, see that down there? How beautiful that is? It's like a fish up here. Right? I had to come to a place in my life and just accept that. And I got beat up with a stick. I got beat up with a stick a lot. Oh well. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna be 41 in a day or two. Whatever. Beat me up. Beat me up over the head mentally. You know, whatever you want to do. I understand now. But at that time I didn't understand. I want to connect with other people who are passionate. I don't want to push people away. Come back here. Come back here. I don't want to push you away. I don't want to push people away. Do you ever feel like that? So now moving back up in the 20s. Okay, because understand we just pretended to do songs. Cinderella was a big one for us. Kiss was a big one because I'm a Kiss fan. AC/DC. All these songs. But I got to be honest, even then, in junior high school, I want to do our own songs. That's why I sang the song I wrote. Guys, can I do one song? I don't even like to sing. But can I do one song? Right here? Because I really wanted to do the songs I wrote. Or we wrote. We wrote. We wrote. How's that? I really did, reflecting back then. It wasn't all about me. I wanted to do songs I wrote and we wrote together. And we dabble with different things. Nothing really worthwhile, I guess, for us to keep putting energy into it, or so we felt. Now we're getting back up in the 20s. Kind of same thing going on. I'm a lot better than I was back then. Doing more than one chord. Living After Midnight. Let me tell you something. That was a song that I perfected. I really did. You guys can laugh at me all you want. Living After Midnight by Judas Priest. I couldn't even believe I was playing a Judas Priest song. We did a couple of them. And I'm telling you what, I could do the solo for Living After Midnight. And I was so proud of myself. And I always loved that solo because the solo was much like a Twisted Sister song. Living after midnight and near, you know, but you put you put a lot of feeling into it, bend that string, you know, wah or something. You could do whatever you wanted to do. That's when I started messing around with my own sound. But try. And let me tell you something, if I didn't have every note just right in any of the songs, the drummer was criticizing me. You ever been in a band like that? I already know I don't want to sound and play like everybody else. Give me some room here to be an individual. Some kind of room, please. Nope, can't do it. There's no hope for us. It's never going to work out. Any good bands are going to sound just like the song. If we don't, we're never going to get gigs. Oh well, then we'll stay here and play. So what? Twisted Sister. I remember when I learned that We're Not Gonna Take It. Oh yes. I could learn that song for some reason. And the solo, it took me a couple years to figure it out, but I got it. And that's very similar to, you know, singing along with the chorus line. And I was always impressed by that. To me, it kind of made it easier because I was familiar with the chorus. Now all I got to do is try to figure it out. Now I'm putting together, you can sing with the notes on the guitar. I'm not understanding all this. Me, passionate about music my whole entire life, I don't understand this. But I'm figuring it out over a long period of time. Okay. So now, here we go. I love the guys that I used to play with in Tower City. Loved them. Loved them. Younger kids. All of her talent was pretty close to being the same, except for the drummer was phenomenal. I gotta be honest, he was phenomenal. I used to go to his house and watch him drum and stuff. After this, the drummer connected with some other people and said, there's a band right local to us in Jonestown. We should check it out. Audition. Check it out. I was in the first band I was in with a cop. There was a cop that worked there that played keyboards. Not worked there. He was in the band. Played keyboards. A city cop here in Lebanon. And then there was a lead guitar player. Looked a lot like my guitar teacher's guitar. That I was telling you about, was kind of like sky blue. He had all kinds of effects. He had an effects pedal. Oh my goodness, it had all kinds of effects. Me, I got a PV amp. PV amp, and that's it, my guitar. Not doing too good with the finances, you know. I might have had a distortion pedal. Chorus pedal, maybe something like that. But he had advanced technology. Amazing. I think my brother got me a wah-wah pedal. Got a lot to talk about with my brother, too. One of the singers, a lady singer, beautiful, beautiful. Remember, I want to be the girl in a band. She was very inspirational. She did a lot of Pat Benatar. She was one with positive energy. She wants to do this too. I finally meet somebody who really wants to do this too. You know, at all costs, show up no matter what. And she worked at a lawyer's firm office. And let me tell you something. It pays to rock and roll with people who work at lawyer firm offices. Because later years throughout my life, she has helped me tremendously in many ways. You know, this was adults, and it was me and the drummer. Now we had to find a bass player. The bass player lived pretty far away. I don't want to hurt this bass player's feelings, but it seemed like a lot of times when he would show up, he didn't, you know, if he would show up. Let me put it that way, he wouldn't show up. There was times that because these people have other lives and other things going on that are more valuable to them, okay? He might not show up. Very disappointing to me, but I put an expectation, you know, I'm in a band. I want to rock and roll. I want to get out there and play. I don't want to be in here any more than we have to. Let's get out there. See out there? Let's get out there and play. I'm tired of playing in my bedroom. I'm tired of playing on my front porch. Not really anymore, but I mean, I really wanted to. I want to be under the stage lights and stuff and have a PA system, have people dance on the floor. I didn't get to experience it much up to that point, you know? So we did a lot of cover songs, all kinds of things. Bad Company was a big one. We did that. Nazareth. We did Nazareth. A lot of the 80s groups. And me and the guitar player, at that time, I was practicing a lot out in the garage, even Nirvana. And let me tell you something, we would switch solos back and forth. The thing that would hurt my feelings, I'll be honest with you, the drummer would say, why don't you let the other guitar player play Tracilyn instead of you doing the solo, you know? That would hurt my feelings, you know, because I'm there to have fun. And it's not really all that sloppy, but his perfection, you gotta be perfect. Every single note, every bend. It doesn't sound like that. Let's stop and start all over again. Did you ever meet somebody like that? It doesn't sound like that. You gotta start all over again. If he sees us, he might be hurt about it. Understand, I love this guy a lot. I'd like to get to see him again and stuff. But this is how he was, a perfectionist. And if it's not perfect, we are not going out there, Tracilyn, where you want to go. So get on with it. So of course, did I not practice harder? And now I'm trying to sound exactly like other people. See how the pressure came on me? I have to. It was a graceful thing throughout my life. I have to, or I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do. And that's all I want to do for the rest of my life. Why are you making it so hard on me, people? Why? Why? Well, Tracilyn, you got to know how to play. Yes, I have to learn how to play. Out there. Can I learn out there? Please? No, you can't. So there was, in this band, there was drugs and alcohol. I'm not saying with who or whatever. It was definitely not the cop, understand? Not the cop. Not the lady who was law firm. She was there usually. We'd end up showing up. She drove in. All these people came from outside of town. Me and the drummer lived closer. I'd pick him up or whatever. And you know, I gotta say, and then sometimes the relationships would start. And I'm just like, I don't have anything else in my life. This is what I want to do. I really, really want to do it. I got my talk box. What inspired that? All kinds of things, right? Living on a prayer. Yes, living on a prayer. Who doesn't want a talk box now? Thank you, Richie. Oh, we just sold millions of talk boxes around the world because of Richie Sambora. Got back on there into the studio with a talk box. If that's what they call it. I guess they also call it something else. I had to have a talk box because of living on a prayer. But also because of the Eagles, Joe Walsh, Rocky Mountain Way. Let me tell you something. I played the finger slide to that. That's when I started practicing finger slide. George Thorngood. Oh my goodness. I love George Thorngood. Love him, love him, love him, love him, love him, love. Did I say I love George Thorngood? He is bad to the bone. I love so many of his songs. I love his playing style. I always wanted to see him, but you know, sometimes when I say stuff like this, it may hurt whoever. But I would have liked to see him in a smaller venue. A lot of these guys I would rather see, wouldn't you, up close? Phenomenal. I would love to see George Thorngood, even to this day. So because of Joe Walsh, who I loved a lot because of his, can I say this? I don't know how else to say it. Kind of had that craziness about him. And I was very drawn to that. I love the Eagles. Love the Eagles. My brother took me to see the Eagles. Hotel California kind of tour where they started off all acoustic and then they broke out the electric. Oh my goodness. One of the best concerts I ever saw in my whole life. Loud and amazing musicianship. But that was why I fell in with Joe Walsh at that concert. I watched him. They had cameras, I think, at that time, so they would zoom in and you would see his face, his facial expressions when he's playing. Oh my goodness, that guy rock and rolls. And I grew up on this for years, by the way. Eagles was a big part of our family. Remember, first song I ever heard on the radio, Eagles song, that I remember ever hearing on the radio was an Eagles song. I used to listen to them up at Happy Holiday all the time. Life in the Fast Lane. Hotel California. To be honest with you, everybody liked it, so therefore I didn't. Till later years. Take It Easy I loved. Everybody did. But I loved Rocky Mountain Way. I don't know what it was. I saw him sing it live. And I'll tell you what, ever since then, I got to hear Rocky Mountain Way. We're playing that in our band. I want to do the finger slide, and I want to get a talk box. Not only because of Richie Sambora, but I want to get one now because Joe Walsh, too. And I'm thinking of Peter Frampton. We have possibilities here. How many people do you ever go see a band anymore that has a talk box? We got a talk box. We got one up on all the other bands around here. I think crazy stuff like that, you know? And now we're doing all kinds of things. We got a keyboard, we got a drummer with a drummer that goes the whole way around. I mean, I'm looking at this artistically because I observed all these bands my whole life. And I know that stage presence is pretty much everything. You need a sound, you need the talent, but stage presence, you can kind of cover things up a little bit. At least we look like a professional rock band now. I got my finger slide, see? You know, right here. I'm sorry about that. I put it on this finger, really. Okay, or my pinky. And I struggled with stuff like that. What finger do you put your finger slide on? Musicians play many different ways. I'm telling you, I observed all these people down to the T where I would stop with the VCR. What are they doing there? You know? Even when I was learning how to dance like Billy Ray Cyrus. Pause it. Pause it. Where was his foot exactly at? This is what I wanted more than anything throughout my life. Obviously, that band doesn't work out because we did have an opportunity to play open mic one time. We all showed up, an amazing guitar player from this area, huge Stevie Ray Vaughan fan, and it's very obvious when you hear him play. He loves Eric Clapton so much. He's the reason why I started listening to Stevie Ray Vaughan and started listening to Eric Clapton a lot. And always to this day, for some reason, when he sang that song, I guess it was about his child, Tears in Heaven, and I say that my heart was moved to want to hear more Clapton. I didn't. Cream? Who's Cream? I don't know. I didn't know. Eric Clapton. That's all I knew. Eric Clapton. And can I tell you something? In my younger years, playing guitar, learning to play leads, I learned at an early age. No, I couldn't mimic. Okay, there's a big difference. But I could start to play more solos by listening to B.B. King. And I got a lot of B.B. King cassettes. And I'll tell you, anybody who asks me, who's your favorite blues players of all time? And I will tell you, B.B. King and Jimi Hendrix. I love them. Eric Clapton, to me, is one of the most intelligent guitar players, singer-songwriters ever. Ever. He has that look about him. When he speaks, seems somebody up there, high intelligence. Eric Clapton does. I mean, he looks very classy. I was just always, you know, especially me as I get older, you know, I like the classy look. It's in my heart for myself as well. And I'm bouncing around. I told you I would. That band split up. My heart broke. I'm back on the couch again. Back on the couch again. I don't understand why things don't work out for me. Am I pushing too hard? Come back here. Stop it! Gosh darn it, we gotta make something work out here. I don't even know the first thing about getting a group of guys together to make it work. Well, everybody else has priorities in their life. I mean, I'm being honest. You know, other people have I don't. Tracilyn, get a life. Get a life, would you? No, I don't want a life. I want to rock and roll. That's all I want to do. Leave me alone. At least I'm being honest. So I laid around. I got heavy. Stopped taking care of myself. Started driving truck. And that's when, of course, I drove for a while. And can I tell you something? The only thing I had to do when I was driving truck is think. Think. Think deep, think deep, think deep. I worked all the time. Let me tell you, I don't want to get too much into this, talk about other videos, but my heart is out for truck drivers. It really is out for truck drivers. I am so sorry that they got to endure and go through a lot of the things and struggles that they go through. Okay? I'm going to leave it there for now. If you ever want to ask me. Look at other videos. I'm sure I have stuff on there. But my health was deteriorating very quickly. Very quickly. I was going to the doctor all the time, trying to make my runs, talking to my dispatcher to get back home to go to a doctor. I got all kinds of health problems going on, and it's getting worse very quickly. Depression has set in, extraordinary. At some point, while living there and driving truck, I got to meet my child's parents. I told you that story too. She reminded me of Savannah, things happen, and you know, I didn't know what I know now. And that's a very painful relationship to talk about, you know, or to hear about for some people. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Talked about that before, and I'm planning on talking more about my relationship with that specifically. I'm very sensitive to it. Right now we're staying with music. And can I tell you that through this relationship we had a lot of fun times and not so fun times. But one thing is for sure, much like my stepbrother, which I totally alluded back years ago, I got introduced to people like Run DMC, which also Aerosmith came into the picture. Dude looks like a lady. Dude looks like a lady. I love Aerosmith so much. Steven Tyler, we can all agree, one of the sexiest men ever of rock and roll. And the music is amazing. I can't believe I totally forgot to talk about that, because while living at the trailer, from what I understand, Janie's Got a Gun, no, maybe not Janie's Got a Gun, which one was it? No, I can't think of it, but it was when that girl in the video started coming out. I guess she was a movie actress or something, maybe his daughter too. Something to do with a cow. Cow and udders or something, I don't know. I can't think of it right now. But I had that cassette, and I used to lay on that couch and watch that over and over again, and guess who I used to fantasize about being? Yes, the girl in the video, Steven Tyler. So I didn't dream about being Steven Tyler or any of the guys from Aerosmith. I dreamed of being the girl and making it with all the guys from Aerosmith. See how that works? I'm still figuring things out. Trust me, at that time and age, nobody would have wanted me. I was totally letting myself rot away. So now getting back into this relationship, okay? Oh, I wanted to tell you, with my stepbrother when I was younger, he got me into rap. He introduced me to rap. And all I remember really is the Fat Boys, the Beastie Boys, and Run DMC, and there was a lot of other ones during that time. I remember Yum, Bite It, or something like that. Maybe some of you remember. I don't, Bite It, Yum, or something. I don't know. I'm not really that good. I can rap a little bit, maybe a little. But at this time, with my child's other parent, Eminem, when I was driving truck. And can I tell you in something, in all honesty, much like Kurt Cobain, I gotta be honest, I don't think I could have got through my truck driving years without Eminem. I was up in the upstate New York. I didn't want to listen to it for whatever reason. I remember I loved Vanilla Ice, by the way. I loved MC Hammer, by the way. I even had MC Hammer style pants when I would go to the gym to work out. Okay, and I want to be one of the dancing girls for MC Hammer, by the way. Because I want my booty to hang out. And by that time, I had a nice sized booty. Unfortunately, I had a big belly. Not too attractive. Mine. So, I love MC Hammer, love Vanilla Ice, but way back when it was Beastie Boys on Lafayette Street, or no, in Lebanon Village, and it was, you know, all these other rappers. Some songs that I would love to look up, because I'll tell you what, it takes you back in your childhood. Rap was pretty cool. I told you about in other videos how I got to love Billy Joel. I always wanted to be the uptown girl. Still same thing going on with Aerosmith, but now Eminem comes along, and I gotta be honest, she loved Eminem a lot. Too much for me. Too much for me. What is he saying? What in the world is he talking about? You gotta be kidding me. Really? Let's go back to the 80s and listen to Warrant. Where the down boys go, okay? That's where I want to go. Oh, I saw red when I heard Eminem. Let me tell you something, I really did see red, see? When I heard Eminem. But you want to know something? I remember where I was in this truck with my dog by that time, somehow, some way along the way, because I skipped the country years. But can I tell you something? I remember driving upstate New York on Interstate 81, completely dark out. There is no other traffic but me. Why am I up here by myself? I don't know. I'm getting scared. You're getting scared. Why not pop in Eminem? I pop in Eminem, and I'm just blown away by this. And in order to stay awake, you crank the stereo all the way up and you roll down your windows. Because let me tell you something, it's very dangerous sometimes. I'll be honest with you, with my driving experience, you ought to hear it. The way that I would keep myself awake, caffeine, 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 caffeine. Started getting into other things legally that you could get across the counter. Let me tell you something, you just want to stay awake, stay awake, stay awake, stay awake. You roll down the windows, you crank it up, you blow the horn sometimes. You do all kinds of crazy stuff, but you got to get that load to where it got to go, and then you go to sleep. Maybe. If you don't have to unload it. Oh, see, yeah, I'm telling you. Can I say something honest right now? Trucking industry, the drivers need our help. I believe many of them would agree if they heard this message. They need our help. It's a shame the way they're run into the ground. Right here. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And I used to admire a lot of the old country singers from years ago, the Outlaws, because they would pull together and they were for the truck drivers. You know? For truck drivers. Doesn't seem like, sometimes it doesn't seem that way. I'm sure a lot of them still are, but, you know, is anything ever being done about it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I didn't feel that way then. So I'm listening to Eminem, and I can tell you something. Eminem reached into this truck driver's heart. In my mind. And it kept me up. And I'm just using my imagination to picture all this stuff that he's talking about. And I would rewind and listen to it again. Are you kidding me? They actually let him record this and release it to the world? You gotta be kidding me. This is crazy. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Eminem. Thank you for helping me get through the pathetic truck driving years, because I was miserable. I was miserable, and you kept my imagination going and going and going. And I was like, I'm not the only one who feels this way. I'm not the only one who feels this way. This is great. I love you, Eminem. I really do love Eminem. I don't really listen to a whole lot of anybody's music anymore, but then were the years that I got started listening to it, and there were certain ones, even into your Find Out My Escort years, I listened. Even when I was going through a session, a lot of Eminem. A lot of Eminem. Cleaning out my closet and a whole bunch of other songs, which I won't get into right now. But I would listen to them as I was getting ready to go to work as an escort. And I'll tell you what, he helped me get through a lot of those years as well. Love Eminem, love Eminem, love Eminem. But I gotta be honest, I don't know the words to his songs anymore. At all. But I know it always got my imagination going, and it always distracted me from my pathetic way of thinking in my reality. Now, got to get back to the country years really quick. Girl that I got the dog from, in a relationship with, we got it together. She was huge into Shania Twain. And at the apartment I was showing you, upstairs, my sister lived for a season of time. And I remember being downstairs with my brother, and I would hear them stomping around on the floor. What is going up there? All I want to do is sleep and bury my head under the pillows. Why is my own sister annoying me? So I go upstairs and I got to meet her, and then I would be sitting there drinking again. Drinking, lots of drinking in my life. Getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I gotta tell you, I'm not saying everybody who drinks is big. Me, I was big. And can I tell you something? Man, did I fall in love with Shania Twain. Wow. This was outstanding to me. Everything that I heard on her album was mind-blowing. You know, this is really country music. It has seriously changed. Seriously changed. Billy Ray Cyrus is one thing, there's no doubt about it. But Shania Twain, really? This is an amazing, remarkable crossover in my eyes. Okay, very beautiful girl. And then I find out, if I'm not mistaken, am I wrong? Mutt Lange and Shania Twain. One of the most amazing producers ever. I'm smart enough to realize this. If it is him, I'm almost positive. I don't want to be putting my foot in my mouth, but I'm thinking Mutt Lange produced her album. Oh, I can only imagine the challenges in that. Getting into country music, because that's the way I thought. As soon as I heard the music, I was thinking of all the trials and things that they had to go through to get this to happen. And can I tell you, I wanted to be Shania Twain. Why do I always want to be everybody else? I don't know. I don't know who I am. Help me find myself. I already found myself. Here I am, right here. Okay, so I'm listening to music all the time. Now I'm picking up my guitar and trying to sound like Shania Twain. Yes, I'm guilty. I was charged. Well, eventually we started dating. We got into a trailer out at Fort Indian Town Gap. Two of us now. I understand. I'm going back in time. back in time. With that being said, I say that a lot, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, that's my thing. With that being said, check this out. I say that too. Check this out. I'm working with a friend doing repointing. I talked about this in other videos. He loves country music. Alan Jackson, Toby Keith. He loves all the guys of rock and roll. George Strait. Oh my gosh. George Strait. I love George Strait. Pure country. Pure country. Where's my cowboy at? Do you know where my cowboy is? Garth Brooks? You know, somebody with a tush like Garth Brooks and, you know, with a smile on the eyes like George Strait. Cowboy hat like Alan Jackson, please. Can I order one of those online? Is that possible? Can we order ourselves a cowboy online? So between her and her brother and her whole family, I'm getting introduced to not just Shania Twain, a whole world of 90s new country, whatever it was. That's what I thought it reminded me of, new country. And I am just blown away. And I gotta understand this. Now I'm digging out all the albums. I want to get into this. What is going on here? I'm not putting all this together. This does not sound like any country music I ever heard before. And can I tell you, I love new country, whatever it was back in the 90s. I love it. And we went to see Tracy Lawrence. And this was so different from me. You know, it really was so different for me. I don't care. I want it. Whatever you like, I'll go with you. Let's go. Go. You want concert tickets? Let's go. I'll get concert tickets. We'll go. You know, or she got them, whoever. And I'll tell you what, we saw Tracy Lawrence and Trace Adkins. I think Trace Adkins was the headliner. Might have been. I don't know. I think so. Ain't no thinking thing. Every light in the house is on. Tracy Lawrence, you know. I didn't know who Tracy Lawrence was up until that point. I saw him, of course. What did I do? I got into his albums. Trace Adkins. Very tall cowboy that does not have to move anywhere on the stage. His presence says, I don't have to move. And you're going to fall in love with me right now. Because I am me. Let me tell you something. That was so true. I fell in love with Trace Adkins instantly. And I think of this stuff on the stage, you know. I'm putting all this together as I'm going through life. Bon Jovi going way out here to sing a song for everybody in the back. Couldn't afford the high ticket prices to go up front. Okay, thank you for having compassion on your fans, John. That's very sweet of you. Yes. Now what about the rest of the band? Tico, get your buns back here. If John can do it, you can do it too. Richie, get back here. Whoever else is in the band, get back here. You know? Trace Adkins, and I admire. Remember I told you, Travis Tritt, his energy all over the place. Garth Brooks, all over the place. Billy Ray Cyrus? Not much. You know, standing there in front of, until Achy Breaky Heart. And he started dancing his tail off. Yes, and he let his hair down. He'd take that ponytail out. And there ain't nothing more that a girl wants at a Billy Ray Cyrus concert at that time than to help him with that tie, the hair tie removal process. Can I do this for you nice and slow, Billy Ray? Thank you. Kind of reminds me of Aerosmith's Going Down. I always wanted to be that lady doing that. Going down. You know, I guess I just did. Maybe not identical, but you know. So, and I'm realizing this, all this energy all over the place. Trace Adkins, much different. Staring down there. Not much of a light show, I gotta be honest. Not much of a light show at that time, anyway. I'm blown away by this. Why am I so drawn to him? Because he's Trace Adkins. And if he were standing there and he was on television, what would he tell you? Because I'm Trace Adkins. I don't have to run my buns off all over the stage, Tracilyn. I'm Trace Adkins. I do it my way. I do it my way. You know, I noticed Alan Jackson with his hat. He looks off the brim, and let me tell you, it makes your heart melt. It makes your heart melt. Him and George Strait, they can do it. Not a whole lot of the cowboys can necessarily do it that good. I pay attention to this stuff. You know, is it just me? We're all attracted to different things. This is what I was attracted to. I listened to a lot of Alan Jackson. I listened to a lot of Kenny Chesney. Okay? A lot of Toby Keith. That is a man. Okay? That's a man. I don't know about now. I don't really watch much stuff now. But back then, I'm thinking, that is a man. That is a man. That is a man, mama. Yes, Tracilyn, that's a man. You are girl. So it's okay. Is it going to be okay with him? No, Tracilyn, get away from me. Oh, let me tell you something. I could go on and on and on. But this also, in this household, we're collecting all these CDs. We're joining music clubs. So understand, this whole time, this is helping me escape my depression. We're ordering from these CD clubs. I don't know if it was Columbia House or something like that, BMG Music or something like that. But you know, you pay a penny to get it started. Why not? Do we have to pay for the membership after that? Well, can we send them to somebody else's address and just be waiting there or something? I don't know. We got to do something because I don't want to go steal them. I want to hear all country music. I want to hear everybody right now. I want a CD of what is popular now. That's an order. Is that an order? It's an order when you're doing it through a catalog. Because that's what I'm saying. I want every recording artist in the whole entire Nashville recording scene to submit a CD to my house for evaluation. I'll tell you if you got talent. And I will be the first to go downtown Nashville, Tennessee, and scream at whoever is not putting your hit song on the radio, because I always discover these hit songs that aren't on the radio. Did you ever notice that? Why isn't this song on the radio? Why did they pick this one? Oh, I don't know. Because they wanted to. They had their reasons. And that's when I fell in love with Terry Clark. Oh. Poor, poor, pitiful me is a really big one that sticks in my head. I listened to that over and over again. It was fun. It was playful. And when I saw her video, can I tell you, that to me was a total different look than Shania Twain. Okay? But I'm looking at it like a mother figure in my life. I'm listening to her voice. It's very motherly. And I love her whole look. She's not, at that time, okay, understand, at that time, it's not like she's trying to bear it all out to try to get people to listen to her. It's like, I got talent. I got talent, and I'm a very gentle spirit, very soft-spoken. She is as down home and real as any other country girl you're going to meet. Realistically, she to me remind me, if I go down to Nashville, I'm going to meet a lot of other ladies that are just like that. You know, not all this flash. And so I don't know what her concerts were like. I don't know how she dressed, at home or anything. I don't know. But when I saw her album covers, I saw her video, I thought, it humbled me. It said, you know what? Maybe I can be a cowgirl with my cowgirl boots, some regular jeans, not to look like Garth, put on a hat, a vest, and, maybe can I be honest? Maybe I don't have to show off my butt. Maybe I don't have to show my belly. Maybe I don't have to go around wearing thigh-high boots to get attention. This is what I'm honestly thinking. I'm being honest. I hope I don't offend or hurt anybody, but I'm thinking this stuff. So I'm looking at all this, and I gotta be honest. Her talent was there, I'm listening to the music, and I want to hear more Terry Clark all the time on the radio. And I was falling more and more and more. And if anybody ever asked me, I like old school country. I love it now. I love it. I have appreciation for it so much more now because of all these people. Because of Alan Jackson, because of George Strait. I love George Strait. Oh my gosh, for years that's all I listened to in my mix. Of these people. Now I'm a country person. Country girl in my heart, but at that time, I'm a country person. And I'm gonna go down to Nashville myself someday. Because that's where all the rock and rollers are starting to go, right? So I hear. Why not? Didn't I just hear Bret Michaels is cutting a country record? Didn't I just hear that Bon Jovi helped to write a country song? All these guys, Tom Kiefer's down there too, I think. Maybe when I'm down there, I'll get to meet these guys. I don't know. I'm thinking of stupid stuff I know. They probably don't even live anywhere around there. Tracilyn, we're never in Nashville. We're actually up in Utah. I don't know where they are. Does it really matter? It's what's in my head. It's what kept my imagination. It's what kept me alive. It's what kept me alive. So when people make fun of me and they say this, can I tell you something? It's what keeps me alive. It's what keeps me alive. I'll never forget when I went to see Bret Michaels, and this might hurt the whole entire band. I don't want to hurt them. Trust me, I don't want to hurt them. They may hunt me down and forget the fact that I'm a lady. You know, maybe for a minute. For a minute. Till we get wrestling. Then they'll realize she's a lady. So here's the thing. Check this out. This is dabbling back and forth because I'm excited to talk about this stuff. We'll get into my career tomorrow. And I just talk about these bands. I'll never forget when I went to see Bret Michaels in Pottsville. I'm almost positive it was Pottsville, Pennsylvania. At a club that you will find out in my music career I was playing at. This is a frequent place for bands that were really big in the 80s that would be going. It held a lot of people. And the owner was outstanding. The owner's really cool. He knows everybody in the music industry. Can you help me out? Can you help me out somehow, some way? You know? The guy from Warrants was known to play pool in there and stuff. And it's like, I mean, to me, this is like big deal. This is a place I need to frequent. Bret Michaels is playing there, and at that time I was playing shows, and there was a whole family of people that love me so much. They want me to go to this concert. I show up. I'll never forget it as long as I live. And let me tell you something. I got up very close. And I'll never forget when the band started. At first, I'm kind of scratching my head. You know, I knew that this was going to be Bret Michaels. And I'm listening to the whole entire band, and I am blown away. The musicianship. Oh, my goodness. And the guitar player? You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. This is totally different than what I heard from the rest of the band. Really. And I love the rest of the band. Never heard them live. Never heard them live. Or heard recordings. All right? I would love to hear Poison live. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And now I'm putting two and two together. How in the world can this group of guys come together and sound so fantastic? Still at this age. How can they sound so fantastic, yet it's not the original members? At all. And how in the world can Bret Michaels come out here on stage and perform? Because all of a sudden, long and behold, from one of the sides, he comes out onto the stage. And let me tell you something. The energy just totally changed in the room when Bret Michaels stepped out. And I'm watching him the whole time. My eyes are so big. I've never seen anybody up that close as sexy as Bret Michaels. And I'm trying so hard to get his attention. You, Bret, forget about everybody else just for about an hour. Can you give me 5 minutes here? Can you just make your way down? You know what? All the other concerts I saw, they jumped into the crowd. Can't you jump into my arms? Can you just for a minute? I'm strong at that time. I'll catch you. I won't let nobody hurt you, I promise. He's twice the size of me, of course. I'm all over the place here. And I'm telling you what, it was a great concert. And in the end, can I tell you that I did get to meet a select few musicians throughout my life. And this is going to be all humble now. But I didn't know that you could actually meet these people, like, in these venues. One thing that I really admire about bands is when they take time at the end of the show to make themselves available, to talk, what have you. So I'm outside. I want to tell you this. At that time, I had quite an amazing recording in my hand. And I really believed in the one song that I wanted Bret Michaels to sing it so bad. Bret, please. Please sing my song. I mean, really, if I, okay, I don't have the talent. I don't have the talent. I'm never going to be able to do this. I'm already now heading in my 20s, heading to 30s. It's never going to happen for me. But Bret Michaels, don't you need a new hit song? Just one. So, this song that I wrote in my bathroom that I was showing you in other videos, Born to Be, I wrote it on the hopper. And the funny thing is, I heard Bret Michaels singing the song to me the whole time. And later on you'll find out, as I write songs, I hear certain people singing it to me. I hear the whole song. It comes to me like a baby. Pops in my head, and it comes out. Okay? I want to record my own music. There's no doubt about it. But I'm talking about back in the day. If I could just get him to sing it, then when I go around to all these other venues, you know that song that Bret Michaels sings? That's who I am. I wrote that song, by the way. So that's what I want to do, okay? Can't blame a guy for trying, you know, a girl, a guy, whatever. You can't blame somebody for trying. At that time, I was in guy mode. It would have been a total different story now if he were to walk out of the trees. Let me tell you, he wouldn't have a chance. I'd be tackling him like that girl tackled me, years ago. So here we are. I almost bombard and try to jump the fence. He has a really big guy with him. I don't want to say his name, but a really popular security guard that always was with him. Very friendly. Everybody always seemed to like him and everything. I got the opportunity to talk to him. Amazing, amazing, amazing that I'm getting to talk to these people. And we end up going inside. Well, hold on a minute. I handed him, see, Brett. And he said some words I don't want to repeat. Very friendly, very friendly. Okay, we go around. We end up getting to meet him, and can I tell you something? I got to sit between his legs on the tour bus. And can I tell you something? The whole time I'm waiting to do that, I'm wondering. And I had that opportunity just like everybody else. Everybody had their opportunity to sit at his feet, talk to him for a little bit, take a picture, and that was pretty much it. That is an amazing experience for anybody. The opportunity to meet people that you admire, okay? All these years. So I reflect back on it now. Somewhere I lost that picture. I'm glad I did because I looked horrible. I often reflect back on there and say that there wouldn't be no chance. I would get thrown out of there by his security because of reasons. Because I want to be a Groupies fan from years in the 80s, the way that they used to be. I don't know if girls settled down or not now, but I'll tell you what, Tracilyn, 40 years old, going to be 41 in a day or two. I didn't get my chance to do that yet. I want to go to a concert and throw my panties up on stage or something, I can only imagine it'll offend everybody there, but I want my chance. Okay, here's my bra. Let me slingshot somebody when they're running across the stage. Hopefully they don't trip. That was me. I wanted to be the groupie. I was there. I got to meet him. It was great. And I just want to say one more thing. Honestly, I used to understand. I observed these things. I never met anybody my whole entire life that looked like they just stepped out of a fashion magazine. His skin, I still remember to this day. It had a shine to it. It was a nice light chocolate milk color. And I'm just thinking to myself, really, I just want to tell him, you're the most beautiful man I ever met in my life. That's what I would tell him at that moment. At that moment, I don't know what was going on. Maybe I was drunk, stoned. I don't know. Did somebody put something in my drink? What's going on here? Why am I looking at Brett like this? I don't know why. Okay, I do know now. But that's an honest story. And you gotta understand, this is how excited I get. I love music. I want to get to meet everybody, And it's starting to rain right now. I got to pick up. Where can we let off? We're getting into country music. I'm telling you about Eminem. And with Eminem comes my child's other parent. And that's when the business starts. Where I picked up. Can I tell you really quick in that house? When I came and started getting ready to do my music, I needed a press kit and stuff. I needed to get pictures. I didn't know how to go about it. Can I tell you something? There's probably my brother can witness to this. I don't want to put him on the spot, but I actually started taking pictures of myself on a bar stool, naked. Because I always wanted to do it since I was little. Maybe not so much now, but I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to be painted naked or do a photo shoot naked. So that was one of my things. And because now I have technology and I'm borrowing other people's equipment, now I'm doing that. And you'll find out in the same house, not only did I start fooling around with that, I really started fooling around with my sexuality again. So now I'm also fooling around with getting other toys, lingerie, all this stuff, taking pictures of myself as I started stepping out into the music world. So we're going to take off. In that same house, with my child's parent, I started exploring my sexuality even deeper because with her, we discussed it. I discussed it with a friend. I experienced my first orgy ever in that house. Okay? Always wondered about that. I'm a very free spirit. I got a lot to learn. Nobody's really teaching me a lot of different things. I know years ago, for certain family members, they were called swingers. Back in that day, that's what they were, swingers. They have different lifestyles. Well, I always felt that I was part of a very different lifestyle. That the normal of what everybody else around me that was there was not my lifestyle. So understand, this is a season of big change. Tomorrow we are going to start off talking about the launch of my career out of that house. We're going to save the whole sexuality, intimacy, and all that other stuff for another topic. But music is going to be 2 parts. I got to keep my camera dry. It's the only one I got. It'll be fun. I'll stick more to my career now. Okay, I just had to get the music up front so you knew how passionate I was about all the stuff that I was experiencing throughout my life. Love you. Don't forget Tracilyn.com. Up here, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I got a whole bunch of leaks underneath. Leaks. Got leaks right now here above the tree. Okay. I love